Okay, and we are live. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show for this very special episode. That's right. It's called Don't Fall For It. Aloha, I'm your host, Savy, the founder of Give Me a Break, and we're an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that is caring for caregivers. That's right. We're here to bring back the joy of caregiving, and each week we help caregivers to survive. Survive, you say? Why would I say that? Well, did you know that 40% of all caregivers in the United States will pass before the ones that they're caring for? So that's like here in Hawaii, that's 1 in 10. 1 in 10 kind hearts here in Hawaii will not survive their caregiving journey. They will not. And that means they're also going to leave behind the one they're caring for with no one to care for them. Seriously, folks, caregiving should not be a death sentence, right? It should not be. I'm sure you can think of 10 people right now in your head. One of them who's caregiving is not going to survive this. And we can do something to support them. And let's change those survival odds. Let's change the mortality rate and make them visible. We need to see everyone. We need to be seen. We see you, we hear you, right? And we're here to support caregivers. We see caregivers, and we need your donations to keep doing what we do. With the number of caregivers growing and becoming at risk with the silver tsunami coming, your donations mean everything. All right. So you can become a monthly donor. Very simple. Just scan the QR code on the screen and become a monthly donor now. And by becoming a monthly donor, you'll receive a wonderful, wonderful gift. Let me just talk about that. And you'll receive with your donation 12 issues of our Giver's Guides magazine. And I'm going to talk about our Giver's Guides magazine later in the show. So you'll be able to get that and have that. And that is a wonderful thing. It's a great guide. It's a caregiver's guide to caregiving. Right? And of course, are you a caregiver in need of support? Well, don't worry about that. We can take care of that as well. Just get onto our website, go to gab808.org, and you can fill out a support request. Don't worry, it's not a full-on form. It's just a simple form. We just want to know who you are, how to get in touch with you, and what you're looking for. So we get that form, and our volunteers can go and find the resources you need to be able to connect you before we get back to you. And we try to get back to everyone at least within 72 hours, and if not sooner. So gab808.org, that's where you're going to get some help right away, some guidance right away, and we'll get you connected. That's a vow from us, all right? And if you need to, once a week, maybe that's just not enough for you, no problem. Once a week, we can connect you and give you your first break. So your first break comes every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. without miss. I can count on my hand how many times we've not had a session. So every Tuesday night, our group meets. It's a support session for you, and we get connected. We have community. They're all caregivers. We're all caregivers. There's no psychologists here. Nobody's going to pick your brain. It's just a safe space for you. And in that safe space, we learn a little bit. Like last night, we've been talking about our theme right now is wellness and the wellness wheel. So last night we talked about social wellness and how we need to get ourselves out there. And in little ways, how can we do that? How can we do that if we can't get out of the house? And we also looked at 10 different ways that we might be isolated that you might not be thinking about. And so great ways to learn, great ways to be more aware, and great ways to survive. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m., without a miss, your positive safe space. We're here for you. Share, learn, connect. Every Tuesday. All right. Okay. Without further ado, did you know that September is a National Falls Prevention Awareness Month? It is. And within that month, there's a Falls Prevention Awareness Week as well, because it's such a big thing. And you all know I've talked about my mom so many times, and I've always told you it's not how many times they're going to fall, it's how many times they're going to fall before the last fall, right? But did you know caregivers, you're at risk too? Think about it. You haven't slept in a week. You're frustrated. Your mind's not there. You're juggling a million things. So imagine that you're at risk to fall as well. And what would happen if you fell and now you need to be taken care of as well, right? So this is a really important subject, and we're going to get a jump on it now. And I wanted to do this as our season finale because I just think it's so, so important. And that's why we're doing this episode. So joining me today, and I'm very, very excited to have him here. And joining me today is the Hawaii Falls Prevention Alliance. And by the way, real quick, there used to be, a falls consortium here in Hawaii for the longest time. And it sort of kind of tapered off. And so having this Falls Prevention Alliance now back and in full force to help prevent falls here in our state is an amazing thing. And he is the Education and Awareness Chair. I want to welcome Rick Tabor. Aloha. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Savy. I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to start with just saying, what you're doing in your group. So caring for our kapuna, that's one of the greatest honors, to care for those that once cared for us. I'm sure you say that all the time. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. And, one of the things I do in the show, and, I talk about my caregiving journey all the time, but I want you to share a little bit. And I know you have a story that includes falls as well, but share your caregiving journey. And I know you have a connection to falling in that story too. So please take it away.
I do. So I'm retired from 50 years in mental health. I was a mental health professional, not a psychologist, so I'm not here to pick anybody's brain, like you said. But I am retired from mental health. And as I semi-retired, and we moved home here to Hawaii. My wife is from here. I won't go into that whole saga, but we came 10 years ago. So semi-retired, I actually was an operations manager for an in-home care agency here on the island. I won't name them. And I also worked with Generations Magazine. So I was very active in working on, and as a clinician, I worked with a lot of kapuna. I was a medical liaison for 10 years in Seattle and King County for the medical doctors in the clinics. I had 27 contracts. So did a lot of work with kapuna, both in Seattle area, King County area, and Washington State, and then here as well. We lost a number of our own kapuna just through the years. So both my wife and I, we've lost both of our parents, and I won't get into it all, but falls were definitely involved.
You had a fall with your mom too, didn't you?
Yeah, so my mom really struggled with Alzheimer's and wouldn't wear hearing aids. That's part of this talk here, how important that is. So equilibrium was thrown off. She went down and she busted herself up pretty bad. I was thinking about it too, Savvy. I haven't even mentioned to you, my father, his last fall was his last fall. And we were on the road coming. We were actually in the clinic when it actually happened. I'm real intuitive. I knew what was happening, and my wife was pretty freaked out that I actually knew exactly what was happening when it happened, and we weren't even in the room. We lost him to a fall at the end. Yeah, he had neuropathy. His legs would just kind of give out on him, and anyway, so both. But you know what? I have my own personal. What just happened a week ago, I went to pick my puppy up. She's 42 pounds, and she'd thrown off one of her legs at a kennel while we were on a trip. Goodness. And she wasn't able to get up on the couch. We have a little blanket, waterproof blanket on there for her to lay on. And I went to lift her, and I'd never lifted her apparently. And she went to shift as I was lifting her. I threw out my lower back right above my hip, and I now have sciatica all the way down my leg.
Oh my goodness!
I just popped 2 Advil. So you know what I'm here to say. And it's in this presentation, and I am a kapuna. I'm 69 now. My wife just turned 70. She's fallen and broken 4 different parts of her body. Funny, I actually had to take the chair I'm sitting in right now at my desk. I had to wheel it down the block, put her in it, and wheel her home, and then take her to the emergency room. I couldn't get her up. So
I'm always saying that if you're a caregiver, if you've got people, pets, or plants, and there you go.
No.
Your pets. I mean, we don't even think about that.
Doesn't matter, Savvy, if it's you or me or if it's somebody watching this. Falls. Everything, an accident can happen in 6 to 7 seconds. Your whole life changes. And how you fall and protect your head, because TBI, traumatic brain injury, is huge. Yeah. But even worse, the numbers of death, and I have all these scary statistics. I won't do all of it here.
Well, you were just sharing a statistic of how many people out of that fall, how many actually it could be fatal.
Yeah.
What was that statistic? Was it one in
41%.
5 or
1 in 5. So you know what? In America, every 11 seconds, an older adult falls and lands in the emergency room. Every 11 seconds. Here in Hawaii, it says more than one. This is from the, I should quote this, National Council on Aging and Hawaii Falls Prevention Association. We're actually living with these numbers right now, vetting them, sharing them, part of our just awareness part. So here at home in Hawaii, more than 1 in 5 of our older adults takes a fall every single year. There is a statistic, I didn't Google it just now, but I was sharing this when I was working in home care. Our kapuna, the older they get as they fall, the higher the chance of actually passing from that. Maybe not from the actual fall, but pretty quick after, which is what happened to my mother. My father,
Right.
it actually happened with the fall. So very high. But so here's the bottom line, though, real quick. This does not have to be the story. And you know what? Again, this isn't because we're kapuna. Falls happen to everybody. The thing that happens with kapuna is we just don't bounce as well. That's why I have sciatica down my leg. Ordinarily, that wouldn't have phased me, but now it does.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
age.
Well, you know, and I'm kapuna too, right? I mean, and this was my question. Even when we had our big meeting, this was my question was, and so it's 1 in 5 of our kapuna, our older ones, and those of you tying in from continental U.S., you know, that's our seniors, and I'm a senior. I'm 67. You know, so you know, our senior, and I'm a senior, but I'm a caregiver. So how many of those that are falling are not just seniors, but also caregivers as well? And so, you know, when the caregiver falls, all hell's going to break loose, right? And you're a caregiver and you fell.
Yeah.
Your wife's a caregiver and she fell. And so, you know, it's like we want to prevent falls as much as possible, right? And so let's talk about the HFPA, which is the Hawaii Falls Prevention Alliance here in Hawaii, and what we're doing to prevent falls, right?
Yep. So we have 6 steps that we're kind of putting out there right now. So I know that you have a slide for that.
Yeah, I'm going to put that up right now.
So basically, find a good balance and exercise program. So as we get older, so Savy, I'm sure you're feeling the same as me. Our body is changing, so it's not as easy to stay afoot, right? So so we need the exercise. So my wife is a high risk of fall, so she's actually started getting shots for it, but doing the exercise. So walking our dog, getting at least half hour of exercise a day is real important. And walking is great, swimming, whatever it takes, but you're building muscle strength.
This was something, actually, before you go on too, this was something we talked about last night. And I said, you know, you have to have movement, and movement doesn't always have to be strenuous, you know? And so it could even be just breathing is movement within our body. So even if you join a group where you do breathing and balancing and simple exercises that you can do, you're still able to create that movement and strengthen yourself, right? Of course, you know, finding this in some sort of a group scenario is the best thing, because we don't want to go wandering off in the woods by ourselves.
All right. Well, if you're going to go for a walk, you know, if it's with your puppy, that's one thing. But
that's a great thing.
Walking with a friend is remarkable, or even taking like a Tai Chi class with a group of friends. I have a lot of friends that are doing Tai Chi right now. They love it.
It's wonderful.
So find that balance. Also in that balance, you were talking wellness. So it's also getting enough sleep, at least 7 hours a night. Your nutrition's very important, right? Hydrating, it's a big issue for our kapuna. Gotta drink water. Oh, and you as a caregiver, you forget to drink water. That you gotta have the hydration. Okay.
Good point.
So talk to your doctor, your healthcare provider. So if you're noticing issues, talk to them, because maybe you're taking a few medications. Those medications might be interacting with each other, right? So if you're feeling dizzy, talk with your doctor, right? Very important. Regularly review those medications, not just with your doctor, but you can also with the pharmacist. So you make sure you have informed consent about the meds you're taking, but also how is this going to interact with this stuff? Can I take Advil with that? What about if I had a drink or a glass of wine? Is that going to be okay, or is that going to throw me?
Is that a key point or what, right? That is such a key point. I can't even, because, you know, I've actually been with some of my own friends, and they're like, oh, I take like 10, 12, 20 pills. And I'm like going, have you ever like reviewed that with a pharmacist or with your doctor, I get this from this doctor, that. And I said, well, go to your primary care though and tell them, listen, I'm taking all of these. Are there any conflicts I need to know about? Why am I sleepy all the time?
Right.
Review them. Don't just keep taking them. Get a constant review to check and see if you're putting yourself at risk for a fall from medication.
Well, and especially if you've got different specialists working with you, they don't necessarily communicate with each other. So you want to make sure that your doctor knows what you're already on, if they're prescribing something new, and how will that interact. So that's I think that's a real key thing and as a caregiver or as a family member caring for a kapuna, making sure that we're on top of that. Reality is, so my parents, when they actually would go see the doctor, they tell the doctor what they wanted the doctor to hear, not what was going on. Right. And that in hindsight is a huge issue. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing that's important, and I was just looking up some of this too. So when I was doing in-home care, we had some folks that actually had lost their eyesight because of cataracts or glaucoma. So you want to get your vision checked regularly and be on top of that. And the other thing is hearing. So again, I said my mother had issues. So World Health Organization says only 14% of people that need to wear hearing aids are wearing them. Well, it's even gets worse than that. It takes folks 10 to 20 years before they realize they have hearing loss before they do something. And you know how they find out?
What'd you say? What did you say there, Rick?
Yeah, and then if I was Savy's partner, I would say, "Hun, I think you need to get your hearing checked." And that's when it happens.
And you want to know the funniest thing? I do this all the time, and I keep telling myself, "Go and get my hearing checked," because I'm like going, "What'd you say? Turn that up! I can't hear you."
Yeah. Well, and so the hearing, it gets overlooked quite often, but your whole equilibrium is managed within your audio. So your hypothalamus. I was a field med corpsman stationed at K-Bay at Kaneohe with the Marine Infantry, and we would be out, with artillery would be firing, and somebody's headset, like what I'm wearing, would come off, and next thing you know, they're falling down, and I would go to try to see what is going on. Well, it's because their equilibrium got thrown off. So it's very important. So for every 10 decibels of hearing you lose, you increase your chance of falling by 1.4%. It gets worse and worse as it goes along. Vision, it's obvious. If you can't see what you're doing going down the stairs, maybe I hear people complaining about their bifocals. I'm sorry, but those are dangerous. Yeah. You can't see what you're doing.
And I'm going to tell you, don't let your ego get in the way of this, folks.
No.
Because, this isn't about how good you look. This is about how good can you see.
Well, and I'm sharing my own fall issue and my wife's fall issue, because I'm just telling you, it happens to all of us. Yeah. So as a kid, I would fall and I bounced. Okay, I did. I got hit by a car, and I went flying and I bounced, and I did mess myself up. But if I was a kapuna, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, you can't recover. The recovery is a lot longer and harder. And those aches and pains never quite leave, do they?
Our bones resilience, actually, it's reduced as we age. I don't care who you are. It's just not going to work the same. Same with our muscles and our. Okay, so keep your home safe. We got to get there. So keep your home safe. It's huge, huge, huge. So when I was doing in-home care, I would go into the home and I would scout it out. Well, you know what? So you're going to share, I'm sure, Age in Place workshop is coming up. We went to an Age in Place workshop 10 years ago, and we learned about how to modify. We took over my wife's family home when their parents passed away, and we modified the whole home. We learned everything we learned from that workshop. Get the information. We put all the bars in. Our architect was like, "Oh, no, it's not going to look good." I said, "I don't care what it looks like. We need it." And you know what? After we moved in, my wife had a fall and she needed it. So it was
right. And that's always in hindsight, isn't it? And let me just repeat that one more time. And do you have the date on that? The generations aging in place is coming up, and I really want to make sure I plug that. I love Cynthia and I just love them so much, and I want to make sure that everyone hears this on the show, because you need to be there. And there's so many great resources and caregivers. This isn't just about aging. This is about what you're doing. Caregivers, you need to go there too. The presentations are phenomenal. But do you have the date on you right now? I didn't.
So it's this Saturday, August 1st. It's free. It's at Ala Moana Hotel. I can tell you right now, Ala Moana Hotel is not free parking there anymore. You got to park somewhere within Ala Moana Center, or do the QR code and pay the $12 for parking, because it's a $55 ticket if you park in the wrong place,
They
and you're
actually
not going
check
to
that
know
now.
very quickly.
Yeah.
So it's free,
Yeah. Oops,
and
there
they're
you
going to
are.
run.
Hello? I think you might have froze. There you are.
Am I okay?
Yep, there you're back now.
Okay, all right. So there's 56 resources that are going to have resource tables there. I'm there with Club 100. My wife and I will be there for that. But 56 different resources, which is all valuable. But they have 6 workshops going on from 8:15 in the morning till 2:15 in the morning, all day long. Every workshop. I don't know how you're going to choose which one to go to, and the room's full.
It's always tough. Yeah. But, find the ones that are pertinent for you and get the information you need. And by all means, get there. It's this Saturday. You can go hang out at Ala Moana and eat lunch later after and do whatever you want. But go check it out. It's at the Ala Moana Hotel, Adrian Place, put out by Generations Magazine. So back to our incredible 6 steps. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but back to our 6 steps, because
it's very important.
Getting your home safe is really important. Grab bars and those dang rugs that everyone puts on the ground. I'll tell you, you'll slip and fall on those every single time. Do I lose you again?
I'm all over the place now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I can't see you, but you can hear me. So can you see me?
Okay, well, that's okay. Then keep talking, because I can see you on screen and I can hear you.
All right. So the fifth step of the 6 steps, we're almost there, is keep your home safe. So the biggest thing there is to just assess what's going on within your home. Get rid of the carpets. I mean, the throw rugs are the worst thing in the world for tripping. So if it's not anchored to the floor, get it out. And
get it out.
Also, my wife has this 1.5-inch thick foamy one that's in the bathroom. What a danger that is, because you're going to trip on that. So it's got to be flat, and it can't be slipping around. The other thing that folks don't think about is your cords. You're plugging things in and a cord running. It's too easy to trip on that stuff. So I anchor all of those. In the carport, I just bungee corded. I left my Christmas lights up, so I just bungee corded the extension cord. So it's not going to be out there where we're going to trip on it.
That's all that stuff.
Stacks of papers. I mean, if some of our kapuna, maybe even you, are hoarders. My wife was a hoarder, so there was stacks of stuff everywhere. That's a fall risk. She was stacking stuff on the stairs. My father, that's where his demise started, was he clipped a big one of those big Rubbermaid storage things there and cut his leg, because it was dark and he didn't turn the light on. The other thing is lighting.
Speaking of lights too, right? The lighting. If you can't see where you're going, you're going to fall, right? Get lights, get those night lights along the walkways from the bedroom to the bathroom at night. Make sure you can see the floor,
Yep. So I put it outside on our ramp. I have solar lights all along there, so they're lit up when we come home, so I don't have to worry. And then, of course,
lighting has really advanced now. You can get these little, oh my goodness, there's such amazing LED little strip lights that just stick to the wall and they work. It's an amazing thing, battery powered, or I don't know, solar powered, all kinds of things. So, don't hesitate. And, maybe the one that you're caring for, or the older kupuna, is not quite able to do it on their own. So get in there. I mean, and this is actually step 6, right? Talk to your family and get the family involved, and everybody go and make sure their homes are safe.
Yeah, make sure their homes are safe. Make sure they know what's going on in your home. But the same, if you need one of those lifter kind of things on the toilet, I don't know the term for that, that also needs to be there in their home when you're visiting. I mean, so just, enlist their help to make their place safe, so it's safe when you visit them, and that they know what you're doing in your place as well. So it's just like when somebody goes on a diet, the partner has to learn what the diet is. Well, it's the same. The family needs to learn what your needs are to keep you safe.
Don't be eating those fries around me.
Right? Yeah. My mother would always make desserts, and my father was diabetic. Well, how's he going to manage his diabetes, Mom, if you keep having brownies around?
That's not going to work, right? I know, right? So work together, right? Communicate as a family. I love that. These 6 steps are put out by the NCOA, the National Council on Aging. And if you guys need any more information, you can get that from them. I'll have that website up for everybody at the end. But you can go to just type in National Council on Aging or NCOA. It'll come up. And there's so much information there, but there's also great information on the website right here in Hawaii, more localized for you, which is the HI Falls Prevention.org. And you can go onto the website there and get a lot of information. And even maybe some upcoming events, right? Are there events coming up? Maybe more for Awareness Week? What's going on with the Hawaii Falls Prevention for that?
Yeah, we're gonna add resources to that web link, so those will be coming as well. Exactly what Savy said. There's also assessment tools in there. You can actually do a self-assessment for both the NCOA and then also Hawaii Falls, and it just takes a couple minutes to fill out. It's a good thing to use, and again, share with your family so they're aware. So
yeah, I would do that assessment. That assessment is so important. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, falls are preventable, and I'm hoping that's what you're hearing here. Falls don't have to happen. So, yeah.
And actually the Hawaii Falls Prevention Alliance is also working on a commercial right now, right? And a lot of media to get out there. Olelo TV is being very supportive and helping out as well, putting that together. So there's going to be a lot that happens in September. Because it's Falls Month, but especially intensely in that week between the 21st and the 25th of September. So caregivers, pay attention. Look on social media. You can connect with them on Facebook. There's so much information for you. There's so many tips for you. There's an assessment for you. There's all kinds of help. Don't ever feel like you have to say, well, I didn't know. Right? I didn't know. I didn't know I had to do that. No. We're changing it.
Yeah. So the one thing I learned in doing in-home care, and you all know it quite well, I never met anybody that didn't want to age in place. And we want to do that with dignity. And the best way to do that is take charge so that we don't have falls. So be preventative. Try to plan ahead, right? Just to stay safe, and then we can age in place and live in our paradise, staying in our home with whatever supports we need. Okay.
Yeah, because that was what happened with my mom, right? My mother fell several times, and her last fall wasn't fatal. It just made her non-ambulatory. And so what happened now, her whole quality of life completely changed. Completely changed.
In 6 to 7 seconds, your whole life can change. Yeah. Right. The other is if you need help, make sure you get help. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having a caregiver in the home helping you.
Yes.
And that was a big thing. There was a lot of pride. I know there's money involved in it, but it does make a huge difference. And I'll stop there unless you have other questions of me.
No, I think that's about it. I think we covered everything, and I was so excited that you took time today out of your very busy schedule to be on here and talk about falls. I think it's just something that we don't always address, and I think it's so necessary. You know, these are the things we got to bring out of the closet. We got to start talking about all kinds of things, right? But especially when it comes to falling, because that happens so quickly. And the next thing you know, like we said, the quality of your life is completely changed. And so we don't want that to happen. The information's available. It's highfallsprevention.org right here in Hawaii. And you can call Rick anytime you want. I'll give you his personal cell phone. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you know what? So be proactive rather than reactive, right? So it just makes all the difference in the world. And I'm happy to help out wherever I can.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you, Rick. And thank you for everything you're doing. And of course, thank you to the Alliance for everything they're doing. And just great appreciation to make life that much better for a caregiver and for the ones that they're caring for, and for our kupuna especially. Mahalo.
Thank you, Savy.
Thank you for coming on today. Really appreciate it. Aloha. All right, wonderful. And I'll tell you, I can't emphasize it enough. Really. So mahalo to you, Rick, again, and to all the members of the Hawaii Falls Prevention Alliance for your heart and all you do to keep us safe. Again, you can get more information. Let me just throw that back up there again on screen. But those of you who will listen and hear this on podcast at Hawaii, it's actually HIFallsprevention.org. So go there, check it out. And you know, in all honesty, I've just typed in Hawaii Falls Prevention and bam, it just comes up. It's like right there. So it's well worth it. A lot of great information, the resources on there, the connections you can make, and all the different resources that are tied in to falling. And falling, as you know, is very close to my heart. I watched my mom disappear slowly for 12 years, but so intensely once she had that last fall. She never came back after that. That was when I saw my mom disappear completely. Okay. So especially if you're as a caregiver, if I had fallen, and you know what, I'll tell you something, is that while I was taking care of her, when she was still mobile, I did fall. I hurt my back. All those things happened. Getting her in and out of a wheelchair, all of those things, and I didn't think about any of these things. And, I suffer for it now, but I at any time could have been out of the picture. And then what would have happened? What would have happened for my mom? It would have been awful. So caregivers, care for yourselves first. Self-care. I can't emphasize it enough. It's so important. And of course, the Caring Caregiver Show is how give you a break. And that's why we're here with the Caring Caregiver Show. And that's how we connect you to resources like these. And I was telling you earlier when I first started the show about our Giver's Guides magazine. This is an online magazine. So you can take it with you anywhere you go. You don't have to carry it around in a bag. You don't have to look for it in a doctor's office. Just pull up your tablet, pull up your phone, and read an article. 10 tips on how not to fall. Bang, there you go. It's right there in the magazine. And it's the Caregiver's Guide to Caregiving. So Giver's Guides, there you go. Where is it? And this is a quick shot of the August issue. It's just going to hit the stands in just a couple of days. And so you'll be able to read that August issue. And it's National Wellness Month next month. So we're going to be having our caregiver retreat, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But 7 small ways to receive rest. Gentle ways to restore yourself. These are articles written for caregivers, by caregivers, and with a caregiver's point of view. So there you go. And you can simply get that magazine. I know you can't just get it, You actually have to make a donation. So we accept your donations. We're happy to get your donations. And all you have to do is make a donation of $25 or more or become a monthly donor, and you get 12 monthly issues free. Right? If you become a monthly donor, those magazines just keep coming to you every month. You receive a link by email each month, and you open that link up, and it's a flip book. It sounds just like turning a page and everything, and you get all those articles right there. All right? So that's why we do it. And by the way, it is tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we aren't all volunteer organization. So remember that Give Me a Break we don't have any grants. We don't have funding. We're here because of your donations. And we've been here for going on 7 years now because of your donations. So mahalo to all of you, and my heart to all of you, because that's kept us going. And the impact that we've had on caregivers is phenomenal. I'm so excited to continue to keep doing this. Okay, so coming up next month, I talked about that. It's our yearly retreat. Our yearly retreat, we do it once a year. It's a full day retreat for caregivers, and you get educated, you have workshops, you get community, you get connected, and you get pampered. Pampered, yeah. Massages, aromatherapy, meditation. You're going to get pampered as well. And that's coming up in August 15th. So go on now and register. There you go. Go onto our website at gab808.org/retreat. All right. And just register now for that, because once registration fills up, we have a wait list, but that's it. We can only take a certain amount at our venue. I wish we could do more. Maybe one day we'll get a sponsor who has a great big venue and we can do hundreds of caregivers all at the same time. We can't, unfortunately. So register now, hold your spot. And once we fill up, we do put a wait list out there. All right. So check it out. It's worth it. You'll get to relax, renew, revive, and all for free. And you deserve that. Now, I will say, if you are a caregiver and you want to come, but you can't get away, we still have those 4 free hours of care that Venture Health put out in their show. And I still have some of those. So you can actually qualify to win, or you're just going to get it. All you have to do is send an email to info@gab808.org. info@gab808.org. All right. Send that email and say, I want my 4 free hours. Now, I know that we do a full day and you need at least 8 hours, but hey, you're getting 4 of it free. That pays for half of it. Then just find someone to be there for the rest of the 4 hours, and you can come to the caregiver retreat and have somebody stay with your person. All right, that's a great offer that we're doing right there. So I want to see that email pop up like right now. Somebody can qualify for that. I actually think I have 3 left. So 3 of you can qualify for that. info@gab808.org. I want my 4 hours free care. All right, do that. And as a reminder, we've also scheduled our care receiving workshops. Our care receiving workshops are scheduled. They will be starting up in September. So pay attention for that. Look on our website for that. You can register now while you're on our website. Go to gab808.org/CRP for care receiving plan, CRP, and just do that. Sign up, get registered. Again, this is free. It's coming up in September, October. It's going to be at the Liliha Library. So check it out. Be there. You all need a care receiving plan. We're all going to be taking care of somebody someday. All right. So this season has been an amazing season. It's been a true honor for me to be here with all of you and to connect you to all of the resources and all of the hope that you need as a caregiver to not just survive, but to thrive even beyond caregiving. And that's what we do here at the Caregiver Show. We have what you need right here. And as a reminder, all of this is brought to you by Give Me a Break. And we get that through the Giver's Guides magazine. So you can make an outright donation, or you can not subscribed. You can get a free gift of our online magazine. Just make that donation or become a monthly donor and know that you're doing something every month to help a caregiver to survive and thrive. Whew, what a show. I'd like to thank Rick Tabor of the Hawaii Falls Prevention Alliance for getting us prepared for September and for helping us to see those 6 steps. You know, they're so important to take those 6 steps, and that's put out by the National Council on Aging. And they're there for a reason, because fall prevention doesn't just mean the kupuna, the older ones, our seniors. Anyone can take a fall. When was the last time you tripped and fell? And imagine, as we're getting more tired and as we're getting more older and as caregivers, the recovery is a lot harder. So what can we do to prevent them, at least keep them to a minimum? All right. And that's a wrap. No worries if you missed any of it. We're going into rebroadcast. So over the next couple of months, all of this season will be rebroadcast and intensely during September 21st to 25th, that Falls Prevention Week, you'll be able to see a rebroadcast every day of this episode. So put it on your calendar, 12 noon every Tuesday, except for that rebroadcast of this one, but every Tuesday, every Wednesday. And we're streaming on 7 platforms. So whatever platform on, you'll be able to see it. And of course, a week after each show, it goes into podcast. So you can listen to us in podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Google, gosh, any platform out there, iHeart, we're all there. Caring Caregiver Show. And if you can't find it, just go on to our website, gab808.org/CCS, Caring Caregiver Show, and you'll be able to click straight on from there. The whole thing, why we do this, caregivers, stay connected. Don't isolate. We're here for you. Tune in. Just stay connected. And by the way, thank you. Mahalo from the heart. We've hit 5,000 downloads in our podcast, and that's you guys. So I know you're hearing us, and I know you're paying attention. So mahalo for that. And we'll keep connecting you as best as we can, and we'll keep on going. And we'll prevent you from falling, especially today. All right? Just remember to breathe, caregivers. Deep breaths in. And take another one out. So here's hoping you're finding more joy in your caregiving every day right here on the Caring Caregiver Show, every week right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in. And please be kind to yourself, and especially to those who are caring. Aloha, everyone.